I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Under the agenda 13.7, please add Northwestern Airlease. Is there any other?
Mr. Straub, would you want
Yeah, we'd add that sidewalk program under,
to, so 13.8, Madam Mayor, would be the proposed sidewalk program
well, that would be
Under in camera.
in
in
cameras.
camera? Okay.
Let's see.
18.1, if you want to get rid of the others in one.
18.1 sidewalk program.
Two.
No, 18.1 is canceled. Could I have someone move the agenda, please? Councillor Welke, all in favor? Carried. So the next item is public hearing for bylaw 1023-21, an amendment to the land use bylaw 1018-21. My name is Crystal McAteer, and I will chair this public hearing. All questions, please direct them through me. Council's here only to listen to the information presented and make a decision. This is a formal hearing and is not a debate. Anyone wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to speak once the matter is called upon by myself as chair. Each presenter must state his or her full name, their interests in the matter, including whether they support or non-support. Individuals who do not identify themselves will not be given the opportunity to speak. I'd like to call upon the CAO to introduce the subject of the hearing.
Madam Mayor, Ms. Gavin will present on behalf of the administration.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Bylaw 1023-21 is an amendment to land use bylaw 1018-21. The first amendment involves a rezoning of Plan 1546TR Lot B, otherwise known as 10101 105th Avenue. So that's to be rezoned from park to community use. The parcel currently has the high-level sports complex, outdoor rink, aquatic centre, the skate park and 2 baseball diamonds on it. We had a couple of subdivisions approved in May, and this involves a land transfer of the proposed parcel that the arena currently is on to the Fort Vermilion School Division. So rezoning to community use will mean that entire block on 105th Avenue all becomes community use. So that does ultimately increase the types of permitted and discretionary developments permitted on that parcel. And then the second one is new provisions for the placement of manufactured home mobiles that are more than 20 years old at the time of the placement. So a new effective age definition has been proposed, and then guidelines on how the mobile homes can receive a new effective age through an appraisal, and then administration receiving an appraisal report at the time of application. Received first reading on June 14th, and we haven't received any comments or concerns from the public to date. I'll take questions.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions for Ms. Galvin? No questions? Okay, thank you. With that, I will conclude the hearing. Can I have a motion to close, please? Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. The RCMP are not here, but there is a report, and I can't answer your questions, so we'll have to save them. Minutes of the June 28th meeting. Is there any questions on the minutes? If not, could I have someone move to accept?
I'll move.
Councillor Jessamine, all in favor? Carried. Does somebody want to move the RCMP report for information, please?
I'll move that for
Councillor Welke, all in favor? Carried. I just have 2 items on my, 3 items, I guess, on my report. That's why I didn't send it out. June 29th, I attended a Fiskeview sub-regional meeting with Miss Gavin. We had a teleconference call with Nicholas Applied Management to discuss any gaps or things in our State of the Region report. And June 29th, we had a Northwest SAR meeting where we went through the State of the Region report. Interesting to know, beef has gone up $3 since Haley took that information. Was it in July of last year?
Last summer, yeah, last July.
So that was just one price comparison, but most of them have gone up. Northwest SAR did say that the State of the Region report could be released to Ms. Gavin's relief, and that has gone out, right?
Almost. I'm going to do the website, so I'll put all the information on the website and then just release the link because the document's too large to send by email.
Okay. And then July 1st, Canada Day, and I'd like to send a thank you out to our staff. All of our staff that participated, it was really well done. The people that were there were very excited and really enjoyed it, so thank you for your hard work. Two weeks in a row. And especially the children's bike parade, they were led by a giraffe. It was really, really cool. Anyways, thank you to all of you. Is there, next year it'll be a moose.
Caribou.
Yeah. Is there any questions? If not, could I have someone move my report? Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. Deputy Mayor.
Nothing to report.
Councillor Anderson's not here. Councillor Jessamine?
I have nothing to report, but I would like to just make a comment about the incident that happened last week in regards to West Fraser Mill there. I just want to hats off to all the hard work that was done there, Rodney and crew and all that were involved in that. A great job done to protect and save that mill. It was touch and go for a while, and it was good to see the partnerships that took place there and all the great work. The long hours of our staff and our partners too, so that's a great job.
In intense heat.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chief Schmidt, and to your fire department.
I did the job.
I was there to congratulate them, but there wasn't too many there. They were probably all tired out.
Word of mouth pretty well.
Yes, so thank you for that. Councillor Morgan.
June 29th, I attended the same Northwest Species at Risk meeting as the mayor, and July 1st, I also partook in the Canada Day celebrations. Well done.
Councillor Welke.
June 29th, I attended a Community Futures AGM via Zoom, and on that same day an FASD Society AGM via Zoom. July 1st, Canada Day, participated in the museum station. My only regrets is that I wasn't able to go around town and see all the other, festivities going on, but it was good because I had to attend to Councillor Morgan's sore foot all day, so it was a rewarding day all around.
Yes, it was a very good day, and Councillor Jessamine's wearing the fruits of his
Yes.
labor in Canfor Park when he made his t-shirt.
Pretty proud of it.
Yeah. All right, could I have someone move council reports?
Oh,
Deputy Mayor, all in favor? Carried. Council action list. Could I have someone move it if there's no questions?
I'll move it as presented.
Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. Under the capital project report, CAO, should we be not taking out the county funding there?
The council does have a tentative agreement with the county, so that funding would still be in place for this fiscal year. Oh, we might have to tweak
Yeah.
how it's recorded.
Yeah, that's-
Because it's not necessarily capital anymore.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we can update that.
And just, I have been hearing lots of dismay about the potholes and things again. So I'm just wondering when we are going to have the paver here to do that. Maybe you could make an announcement to the public that this is coming again.
So Madam Mayor, when it was ordered, it was tentatively scheduled to arrive mid-July, so we're about a week out from mid-July. I contacted our supplier this morning, and with Canada Day, or with the US holiday and the long weekend, I couldn't get a confirmation. But it's still apparently scheduled for mid-July to arrive here, and with one-day training, we'll be out and about. So that's for the spray patching equipment. We do go around and try to keep up on it with our pothole program. We did do quite a few in June. Again, they don't stay, but it seems to be an ongoing thing. So tentatively mid-July, and we'll be busy probably till mid-August doing potholes by the sounds of it.
So will you be doing stretches of the street or just the potholes?
So Madam Mayor, we'll start off at one street, we'll work our way up it, and the intent is to spray fill or spray patch the pothole itself, as well as crack seal at the same time. So we'll go one block at a time throughout the whole town.
Okay.
About 14 kilometers of patching.
Okay. Just to let the public know. Thank you. What?
How many, like what kind of distance could you get done in a day? What would it take to do the whole town? Or you wouldn't know yet, probably.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Wilkie. It's a new process. We're hoping it goes fairly quickly. Again, I have no idea. I hope it goes very quickly.
Yeah, it seems pretty efficient, that system.
Yeah, we did use a similar process a few years back. We had an old machine that we had brought off another community quite a few years ago, and it worked pretty well. So again, it's a trial and error. Hopefully more progression than errors, but there is a learning process, and we're not sure. It's all dependent on the street too. If we spray patch the downtown, we can do that a fair while ourselves.
And the other complaint I've been hearing is the street sweeper. How often does the street sweeper go out?
So when we're fully staffed, the street sweeper tries to get out after major rain events and hit the points that have silted up and people or vehicles that drag mud out of the alleys or into town. So we've been short-staffed in June. We had a couple on one holiday and one off sick, so we're down to 3 staff. So we'll be back to normal program this month, I hope.
All right. Any other questions, concerns? Go ahead.
Keep Director Keith on the seat here. The position out at the airport, they're closed. Is it already, or are you still taking resumes in for?
We're still taking resumes in for that position. I believe we have a couple already, and we haven't reviewed them yet, so we are looking for candidates for that position. So that's a joint position that we'll be filling in the role at the airport, mainly in the winter, and assisting operations in the summer. Again, as I brought forward to council, it is our intent to move staff between departments to fill in vacancies, get the best efficiency for the town.
Anybody else? Okay, can I have someone move the capital project sheet then? Deputy Mayor, all in favor? Carried. Financial report.
Madam Mayor, I'll have Director Phillips address that, or if there's any questions.
Is there any questions on the financial report?
Good to see cash in the bank.
Okay, can I have someone move it then?
I'll move the financial report.
Councillor Welke, all in favor? Carried. Monthly report to capital. To council.
Madam Mayor, in the interest of time, if council so wishes, administration will just answer any questions they have rather than presenting each of the reports.
Any questions from council? Yes.
Just with regard to the potential internet changes, has there been any updates, or there's been some programs announced that Councillor Wardley at the last Ready meeting said that Zama is soon going to be on fiber optic. And it's going to have 10 times the speed that High Level has. I'm just wondering if there's any good news coming our way.
Deputy Mayor, none at this stage that I'm aware of. However, I can provide more detail on the individual responses from those who applied for our region. However, I would prefer to do that in camera.
Okay. Yes.
This is a question for Councillor Langford. So they're getting high speed in Zama, but they would have to hook up to it, wouldn't they, or they're not going to every?
She just said it's already underway and that by
There's only
sometime
3
this year.
houses there anyway, so.
Fiber optics and that?
There's, I forget the name of the company that's running it up through there, but they're going to have fiber optic in there.
Is that the one that's going through to the territories?
Potentially, I
We can't even get access out where we are. It's down half the time in the last few weeks.
Oh, it's in town here, right? Like, this building's hooked up to fiber. Like,
But you have to pay to hook up to the fiber optic.
we paid at the office. So.
Yeah.
Maybe they're gonna hook their library up.
There.
I don't know, I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know. All right. Can I have someone move the monthly report if there's no more questions?
I will move it.
Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. Under old business, request to council to give second and third reading to the land use bylaw. Would somebody give second reading, please?
I'll move second reading.
Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. Could I have someone move third reading, please? Councillor Jessamine, all in favor? Carried. The new logo selection for the museum.
Madam Mayor, Director Rolfe will address items 13.1 and 13.2.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
So we did a refresh contest for the logo for the Mackenzie Crossroads Museum and Visitor Center. And as you can tell from your package, we had a huge response, which is really, really nice. And so the tourism coordinator put all these logos out to all the town staff to sort of get everybody to rate them. And the one that was far ahead of the other ones is the one that's displayed here. There's no way for me to name it, so there's a picture of it there. So we're requesting that council approve the choice for the new logo. We did talk to the person that submitted it and asked if they were all right with us doing this in different colors, because they had submitted it in black. And they were fine if we did it, say, the colors of the town logo, like in yellow, red, depending, say, the color shirt or swag you had, that kind of thing. And they were good with that. So we're requesting approval of the choice.
I like it.
Good job.
Nice too.
Does someone want to make a motion?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Deputy Mayor, all in favor? Carried.
That was an easy one.
That was the easy one.
Yeah. I
So,
think we should put this in the garbage along with the coffee maker.
I'm here to discuss the Angle ice resurfacer batteries. So I had come to council back several months ago because we've been having issues with the batteries for quite some time. And we kind of limped along, and we're trying to get the technicians up. We finally did get them up after the Angle stopped on the ice and couldn't get it off. So we talked to Joe Johnson, they coached us off to help get the ice resurfacer off, and I did get the technicians down on a Saturday. The two technicians came down and they went through, they did a whole analysis of the batteries. And one of the things they said was that our watering cart wasn't at the right level, and so it wasn't getting the right pressure into the batteries, and we were putting water in them. We were overfilling and underfilling them, that was an issue. That actually hasn't been an issue, but at any rate, that was one of the things they said. But it did turn out that 3 injectors were clogged, and that was the reason why 3 cells weren't getting water on a consistent basis. There was also a cable that was burnt. The technicians removed about 7 or 8 inches of it. It was burnt right up on the main cables. Anyways, they charged the batteries and they got them to about 85%, and it was good enough to finish off the season. There still was the request that we send the batteries in for analysis. I don't know if everyone's seen these batteries, but they're huge. Like, we have to actually get a lift to take them out and send them in. So I didn't want to do it while hockey was still on, because with COVID and everything else, what we did have going on, we wanted to retain that. So we waited until May and sent the batteries in. They've done a full analysis of the batteries. And at this point, they're saying that they're getting them up to about 80%, a little bit over. There's a couple of cells that they'll replace, but they're relatively okay. But the issue is, this time I sent the charger in with it. So this is a charger we've had since the beginning, from the first set of batteries, and nothing's changed there. So I sent the charger in with it. And what they said is the charger is not opportunity charging. So what that means is, on a regular charge, the batteries get plugged in for 8 hours, they cool for 8 hours, and then you run the machine for 8 hours. That's not necessarily a feasible thing to do in a hockey arena, because you could be running a couple arenas, you could be running a tournament, there's lots of different scenarios. So normally you use what's called an opportunity charge, and that means that in between games, or whatever the case may be, when you have a bit of time, you plug the batteries in, and they bring it back up to charge. So that's a pretty common thing to do. So they're saying that there wasn't enough amperage in this charger to do that. In fact, it was drawing down so bad that it would actually be burning out the batteries. So, I had originally gotten the charger price to get a new charger, but then after thinking about it, if we had been doing damage to the batteries, I thought we needed additional consideration. So we're still in dialogue. I have something like 40 pages of emails back and forth, because I have been documenting everything, gone back through the warranties, et cetera, et cetera. In view that we're in July, and our next council meeting is until August, I'm requesting from council up to maximum $20,000 to either replace the batteries, replace the charger, replace the chargers and the watering cart, a couple of different options, and a resolve to get this fixed and have our Angle back up and running for the hockey season.
Yes.
I make a motion, we get rid of it. And this pouring money after more bad money that we put into this thing, I don't think we're going to fix this problem. We've been working on these batteries for the last number of years. And I'd say we cut our losses and get rid of it, like, and look at a new one. I just,
Where are you gonna take the money from?
well, we keep pumping money into it, that is being wasted. Not wasted, but it's, these batteries, I just don't think it's the right system.
Councillor Wilkie was first.
Oh, I just, like, just in the timeframes, I know we probably discussed this, but just to clarify, we started having these problems before the warranty period was even over. Was some of this equipment, like, was the charger wrong from the start? Was there other problems that were wrong from the start that weren't noticed? Because it doesn't seem like,
Well, that's
like
kind of
all
what
these
I'm-
things that you just mentioned tonight can't have been an accumulated problem over time. Like, there must have been a problem right from the very beginning.
Well, this is one of the reasons why I'm getting everything in writing. So what I've been doing is we'll have the conversation, I'll put everything back in an email, send it back and say, is this actually what you're saying? So I'm trying to get it down to, so we're getting through every single variable so we know exactly what the issue is. Because it starts off that it's the watering cart, that we're over watering and burning out the tops of the battery cells because we're not cleaning them properly. And then it comes down to injectors, then it comes down to 2 of the cells don't work and they've been replaced. We replaced 2 cells 3 times. So I'm trying to get down to exactly what the issue is.
And in that warranty period, they were really bad too. And then this, that we're not opportunity charger, that our charger won't opportunity charge. Did it ever opportunity
Well,
charge?
that's exactly the question I just asked, because I said to them, what would be the proper batteries that would work with this charger then? Because the batteries that we had were 875s, the new ones we have are 770, they're actually lower, even though they call them super hot. So I'm
Like, why do we even have that charger matched with those batteries?
Exactly, so that's the conversation we're having right now. So my next step is to have the mechanic, the arena operator, and myself meet with Joe Johnson and Enersys to go through. I have like a list of questions I've given them that we've been working on back and forth. So that was my list.
How much money have we put in, oh, sorry, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
I'm with Councillor Jessman, and I think that we had asked that maybe this would be looked at in next year's capital budget to replace it. I know this machine is a few years old, but the world is going to electric power, and
They are.
to have batteries that need to be auto-filled with like, that's old, some kind of old school technology. The charger issue are, these batteries aren't the original batteries and they're not the same as the original batteries, so is there a discrepancy between the charger and the replacement batteries that we got out of the US, because the original ones from
Well,
US
the
were-
question I asked them is if when the manufacturer changed, when they went from Italian to the American, was there a difference there so that all of a sudden now the charger's not working? So those are the questions, and I have all the documentation behind. So what I'm trying to do right now is just be more solution-based. So my questions now have been more framed in, what do we need to do to fix this? Here's the question, what do we need to do to fix this? And then I'll go back after as far as who's paying for what. Right now, we haven't actually expensed any additional cost other than the original $20,000 that we spent for these batteries. Like, everything has been on them. So, other than my time, which is, but,
To not try and presuppose what may come into next year's capital budget, could we not do something like we did with the fire truck, where we contact a manufacturer, trade this in, go off the way it is, get them to either give us a free trial period to January 1st, 2022, and then we buy the new one out of the next. I just think it's a waste of $20,000 to put another dime into this machine. Like,
It'll be $40,000.
yeah,
Well, we put more than that into it.
Plus the work of our staff, there's been extensive, well, how much work your staff have worked on it too?
Dave's done a lot of work, yeah.
But pre-Ruth, that Engo was already giving us trouble.
Right, and I have all that documented, so I am working on, working through all that.
so the other suggestion I was gonna make is we would probably have a more reliable machine to rent a Zamboni or something for the last 4 months of the year at $5,000 a month. Will we?
It was pretty expensive, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but, so for 4 months at $5,000, for $20,000, we can rent a reliable Zamboni type machine to get us through the rest of this year. So whether we can work something out to try and get a temporary deal on a unit that we don't buy until the next capital budget. I just have zero faith in this machine. I've never even seen it operate. I guess that's bad on my part, but this watering system for batteries, Director Straub, is there any other equipment out there that operates like this, even electric?
Very few, only some stationary generators, and they're just diesel engines, so newer technology is pretty well all lithium or gel film batteries, so it's pretty old technology in a newer machine.
So, council, what's your wish? Have administration look into it?
Fancy new one,
Fancy one?
fancy new one.
Well, the new one's gonna be almost 200 grand, right?
140.
180, pardon me?
140,000?
Part of my motion is I say that we don't go green, we go gas.
Propane.
I don't have,
I think they go propane now.
I don't have a lot of faith in our electrical, but.
Especially in a
Perhaps we
environment.
could have administration look into it and see, and bring some options to council. Some options that'll have us up and operating when we need to be
Absolutely.
for, I guess, August 3rd. What?
I was gonna say, you're putting the ice in on August 3rd? That's
No,
exciting.
no, for the next council meeting. Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. I guess it was kind of Terry's idea. He robbed his idea.
When is the ice going in this year?
Well, we're hoping to get it in earlier, like towards the end of August, because there's so much that we missed from the past year, so. So I'm just not quite clear, sorry, on the motion, so what is it exactly that I'm supposed to be doing?
Well, what the deputy mayor said, to see if we can rent one for that 20,000 to get us through to budget. And so put the new one in the budget.
As opposed to repairing this?
Yes,
Maybe
I believe that's the,
But not.
am I putting words in your
Like
guys'?
a try before you buy kind of deal?
Well, if we can swing something where there is a new machine that we can make arrangements to temporarily lease for 2021 and purchase in the first business day of 2022. Or if that isn't feasible, to try and rent something to get us through the winter. I just think it makes more
Not
sense.
through
to
the
go-
winter,
well,
through the
to
budget
the new
period.
capital.
Yeah.
I don't know, these things aren't sitting on a car lot somewhere. I think they've got to be built
They
tight.
may have some from the end of the season that are last year's models.
I guess I do have a question regarding, do you feel that we can have some luck with this company to work with us in getting this operating so that if we were to get rid of it, or are we just going to be holding the bag and continuing to put more money into it to get it to a stage where it will operate properly?
I do think we can get it operating properly, and I think we would have a lot more, it would have a lot more value if we had it operating properly and then traded it in for something else as opposed to just leaving it with the batteries hanging out and not doing anything. So I do believe I can get it operating. I had the same, I had the same, the exact same year and everything angle the last job I was at, so, and it worked fine. We had some issues with battery, but nothing like this, and we ran 2 arenas, so. But, so I do think we can get it going.
You don't think it's a lemon?
Well,
It's been a lemon since the day we got it.
yeah, I don't think it's worked as it's supposed to, but I still think there's some changes and we could get it working. So I'd like to see it being covered off through our warranty.
Oh, I don't know for them covering it through warranty.
Exactly.
I just
That's what I've been
reluctant to
working
see
on,
us
so.
spend, to buy a third set of batteries, like,
Okay.
Okay, so let's retract here. What are we doing, guys?
So we're going, well, Mike here.
And you said, sorry, Ruth, the similar or same model was running 2 arenas where you
Yes.
previously were? So we're not using this even at like max or overloaded
Not even
capacity?
close, not even close.
So it just needs the right bits and pieces.
My
My-
motion is for administration to look at options to either replace the existing ENGO, or if that's not possible, to come back with a solid plan on how we're going to make it through this year with the current existing ENGO, and then replace the thing. Because I hate it.
Is it part of your motion?
Yes.
But she kind of needs this 20,000 to, if we're saying that she's looking for 20,000 if she has to replace the charger. The motion was to rent something, get rid of this, and now we're walking backwards to, okay, let's get it running and then trade it in. What is council's wish?
Did I say get it running?
She needs a motion for $20,000 if we do. She might not need it. But,
Keith has a suggestion. I'm going to wait to see what Keith has to say.
No, actually, one of the questions I just had for Ruth is, how long would it take, if Councilman Lawrence III said, okay, yeah, let's do the batteries if that's their best option until for the winter, how long would it take to get the batteries water cart?
Well, it could take as long as 6 weeks. That's why I kind of want to get on it one way or the other.
So,
what,
like, why are we even having to buy more again anyways? If these newer ones were from 2019, they're not under warranty anymore?
They still are under warranty.
They are?
Yes.
So what do we need $20,000 for?
The water cart. and
the water cart,
Charger.
the charger?
But,
Warranty.
okay, so those other parts then are,
Right.
so so we'll get new batteries,
That's my hope, yeah.
okay. And then,
You guys convoluted this by saying, let's get rid of it.
Well, I don't have a lot of
Let's get rid of
faith, you're not guaranteed we're gonna get the batteries. They haven't been very easy to work with. Right from get-go, the warranty didn't cover the batteries the way they should have been. They stiffed us for those.
That's
They
true.
reneged and walked on those. So I don't have a lot of faith that we're gonna get these batteries changed. So we buy this additional equipment, there's still no guarantee we're gonna get the batteries replaced. And then we're even in a bigger predicament. Now we gotta buy batteries because we just spent $20,000 on equipment. But that's just me.
Is the $20,000 going to cover the replacement cost of the batteries, the water cart, and the charging cord, or is it?
It would be one of those options, not entirely all those options. So what I'm hoping is that, they said they're going to place 2 cells in the batteries, so they can get the batteries up to at least 85–90%, and then we need to do the charger is fine. Or if I can get them to admit there's an issue, and hopefully they'll get us new batteries that's what we're working on. So, but ultimately, we need to have batteries that are going to work. So right now, they're not quite up to where they need to be, but they should be covering everything. So, and they have admitted that they will be covering so far, but not the charger. But I'm trying to find out why we don't have the right charger. I mean, worst case scenario, we can take these batteries with new cells. We can make do with the water cart that we have, and we can get through the season with not doing the opportunity charging. So knowing that if we run low on charge, we can only run the angle so long, and then we have to charge it for 8 hours and cool for 8 hours, which isn't really practical.
Carolyn?
so if they could guarantee that if we spent $20,000 getting all these pieces we need, that it will work to what we would expect for a new machine of that sort, maybe not brand, but like a machine of that stature to work, then everything's fine. But if it doesn't, then we want our money back.
It doesn't work that way
Well,
once you pay for it.
Well, no, but I mean, then you're right. If we just feel that this company's lying and trying to get out of fixing this thing, then yeah, then maybe we shouldn't be dealing with them at all. But if you think that $20,000 would get this machine tip-top that could handle 2 arenas, then why wouldn't we do that?
Because they told us this when we bought the first set of batteries.
Okay, then we don't trust this company, basically, is what we're saying.
I'd just say that's a little bit, might be a little bit strong not to say don't trust. I think there's just a little bit of there's a little bit confusion because you have Joe Johnson is the one that we purchased this from, and it's another company that deals with the batteries. So it's similar to if you get like the hydrovac, the difference between the chassis and the rest of it. Sometimes it's not always warranted all through the same companies. There's a bit of confusion there, so I have to keep dealing with two companies all the time. There is an option too, I've talked to Joe Johnson, where we can possibly look at a different company for batteries as well too.
But didn't,
Are you any clearer?
Wow.
No,
I mean,
Mike?
if $20,000 fixes the problem, but if we're not confident that will, like, if we can't be given a guarantee that for $20,000 we'll have all the stuff we need to make this work properly, then I don't think we should really continue dealing. I don't know.
okay, but the manufacturers in Europe, all of the service manuals were in Dutch, Italian, sorry. So we couldn't get English manuals. The batteries went, we couldn't get replacement batteries from the manufacturer in Italy because they were on back order. So they found replacement supplier in the US, correct?
Right.
And we paid $26,000 for the current batteries?
16 plus shipping and everything,
Okay.
and then we got money back for the ones we had.
And these are the batteries we're still having. So we had
Yes.
problems with the manufacturer's batteries, we've had problems with the replacement battery. I'm thinking engine number 2, that, oh yeah, another 400 grand and we'll fix this, or 100, or, I've lost faith. And I would hate to be sitting here in January going, yeah, we spent that money, it didn't work, we still have to buy a new ice resurfacer. And, you know, it's worth X dollars today as a trade-in as it sits. If we put $20,000 into it and trade it in, we're not gonna get that $20,000 back. So I would just like to cut our losses.
Well, you can ask Joe Johnson, that's one of the options as well.
Yeah.
See what its trade-in value is, actually is,
Fixed or not, yeah.
on a, like,
Just
made
trade-
in North America product.
Well, can you say that again?
Sorry, what we could do is when we're talking to the suppliers, we could see what the value of this is and what the value of it would be if we had batteries that were working. If there's not a $20,000 increase in the value, then that will help our options.
I still like my motion.
Can you read Mike's motion, Bev?
With the hyperbole?
I was gonna rely on the recording,
Oh,
so I got look at options to replace the existing and go, and then you kind of went in a circle and said something about it, we can do that. Are you talking about the first one?
Options to have a functioning ice resurfacer at the start of the hockey season.
Let's go with that. That's nice and simple.
So scratch the have administration look into the cost of renting / lease to own for $20,000 regarding 4 months of the year, and bring options back to the August regular meeting. Options to purchase, sorry, back to the regular meeting.
Let's just go with have administration look into options to have a functional ice resurfacer at the beginning of the hockey season.
And Madam Mayor?
yes.
If council passes that motion, if we have options that we believe are viable prior to August the 3rd, we could do an electronic vote on this.
Okay.
Everybody comfortable?
Everybody comfortable with that?
She forgot the I hate it part.
I'll leave the I hate the end go part off.
We'll put that on social media.
You can absolutely put that on social media.
No, that'll be your.
All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one is RFD land purchase.
Ms. Gavin, we're presenting this on behalf of the administration.
Hello again.
I will support her.
Yes, I was going to say that at the end. So we have some challenges with managing our stormwater flows in and around the Amber Heights lift station. The property here, plan 9826564, block 33, lot 27, also known as 11206 Chinchaga Drive, is currently for sale, has been for a while. So this is south of the Amber Heights lift station, across the road from the Petro-Canada fuel station. So we looked at some options of registering some easements for drainage, doing some directional drilling or ditching to the stormwater pond and across the land versus purchasing the land, and trying to come up with solutions that would be unimpeded in the future. So we don't have a plan set in stone for drainage right now, so the image I've provided on the second page just shows you a couple of lines that would likely be the area that we would be using. So to the left towards the stormwater pond, and then the north side of that top line there. So the kind of irregular polygon that's left over could be resold, because we don't think we would need to use that area. So there's a few options here of doing the deep ditching or below ground directional drilling, so under the highway potentially to the other ditch into the stormwater pond that's already existing. And then the other added benefit to purchasing this lot would be that we could sell off the square piece that we don't need, and then also to the north side of the Amber Heights lift station, there is a residential lot there, so it was at one time zoned as R4, and we use that as access to the lift station there, and there is a ditch for drainage on the left-hand side of that, so that one could be resold as well in the future. So today we're asking for up to $30,000, including the legal fees to purchase 11206 Chinchaga Drive. Take any questions, and Director Stroll as well, if there's ones I can't answer.
Questions, council?
So the assessed value is 85.9 and they're prepared to sell it for 30?
Yes.
Yes, so, Madam Mayor, so we've used that property before during our renovation of the Amber Heights lift station. And during recent conversations, it was brought to my attention that it would be available for that price. We had discussed easements as part of our stepping forward in our stormwater management plan. That's a plan we'll have to work on next year. We've had a lot of flooding in that area, and some overall stormwater issues in the town. So the opportunity has come forward recently, and we figured this was a good time to look at that property and then have the options later, once that plan's in place, to adjust it accordingly. This is the drawing we have shown you as our best guess as to what we were looking at. One of the intentions of that stormwater management plan is the swale that crosses Chinchaga Road there, that flows all summer long and carries a lot of silt across the road, is to eliminate that and put a storm line right to the pond and get rid of that swale. So in order to make all those things happen, and again, this is a preliminary look at the overall stormwater plan, it's a really good idea to have the option to have that land available to look at those changes as part of the overall plan. Again, the other lot was acquired by the town through a taxation issue, and we turned it into an access. Our primary access used to be down that drainage swale to get into there. We've been using it as an access to the site because it was convenient. So we would address that as the future change of that lot and doing some alignment work there too. Part of the stormwater system will require a larger pump to get rid of the higher flows. We are looking at some funding sources for that work, and so that's the west parcel, west piece. That's where we intend to put that pump in the future. I think opportunity was really good for acquiring it and giving us the flexibility to adjust a plan to make it proper. And if it doesn't work out, the land is still available for sale at below the assessed value.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'll move the recommendation.
All in favor? Carried. Um, 13.4, draft revision of workplace harassment, violence.
Mr. Carson's will address that if the council has any questions.
Hmm?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. As a bit of background to what we're asking for, Policy 25117, Workplace Violence and Harassment Policy, was adopted by Council in March 2017. And in June 2018, the province passed Bill 30, or it came into effect rather in June 2018, which has changed the focus of how this is handled entirely. Instead of handling workplace violence and harassment in terms of how it impacts on human rights and under the Alberta Human Rights Act, the entire focus has gone to addressing this as a safety hazard, and the entire process by which we would have to deal with these issues, manage these issues and prevent these issues has changed entirely. The focus from OH&S is very, very different. It's very much a preventative measure, and it also has a very, very different reporting structure that we would be required to follow. Also, the policy that was adopted in March 2017 was extremely proceduralized, which doesn't allow administration flexibility to move quickly should legislation change. With this tied into OH&S, we can expect these changes to be coming. The Occupational Health and Safety Act will be reviewed every 3 years, but I also expect regulations to chop and change very, very quickly based on what I'm reading right now, and taking into consideration that OH&S was never dealing with this kind of issue before. So a lot of their regulations and so on are not geared to dealing with these kind of issues. So they will be adapting things to manage that. So the policy has undergone a complete rewrite. There's very, very little that remains word for word from the previous policy. However, I believe that we've managed to capture the spirit of what Council intended with the 25117 in March. So we're asking that you please adopt the new revision. We have a target deadline of July 19th for implementation, along with all the new supporting procedures that we would have to put in place, though many of those would follow the sections that have been, the procedural sections that have been stripped out of the policy.
Council, do you have any questions? Could I have someone move then?
Alternative one.
Okay, Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. $13.5, remuneration.
Mr. Carson's.
With the municipal election approaching in October, we would like to ask that Council establish a Council Remuneration Task Force to review and provide recommendations for Council remuneration as of January 1st, 2022. During our research for this, we discovered that Council adopted by a resolution in 2004 the establishment of the Council Remuneration Task Force, and the details are here. However, it was to be done every 3 years, whereas in the policy for Council remuneration it states under Section J that this will happen every 4 years. So feels like we got a little bit confused and dropped the ball, and probably should have brought this to you last year. However, we feel that there's still value in asking you to do this, as well as move things along. This has not been looked at for 4 years now, and things have changed. So what we are asking for is that we are allowed to recruit one previous member of the task force and then advertise for 2 new members. Then during August, or the August 3rd meeting, that council would then appoint those members to the board, or to the task force rather. Administration would meet with the members, review their mandate with them, provide any research that we manage to get done in between now and then step away and allow them to meet with council and make their recommendations. In September, then hold a public hearing, and September 27th present final recommendations to council.
Would that policy state every 3 years be reviewed because it was done in 2004 and elections were every 3 years then?
I suspect that that is the case.
Council? Someone want to make that motion? Do you want to discuss it? Okay. Can someone make the motion then?
Do it. Are we assigning the task?
No,
No.
no, we can't, because that was on the last time.
Really?
That's the last time I remember doing it.
You
I don't think we did it the last.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I did it before I was on council, but I don't remember doing it, us doing it after that.
Members of council can't sit on it.
No.
I think it was Margaret Carroll and Julie. Yeah.
It was done again.
Was it?
Yeah, I remember Margaret, with Evan Real Estate, she was the chair, and we just gave them the binders from 2013, and they reviewed them.
I'll move it.
Okay,
I think we should do it.
all in favor? Carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The pre-budget strategy planning,
Madam Mayor, administration would request that council set some date, or a date, or a couple of dates in September to allow the departments to bring forward strategic planning that council can then review and set a preliminary strategic plan prior to the election for review and adoption by the council after the election. We're suggesting probably a Friday night, Saturday would be.
financial,
It'll be financial as well as, but it could be project-based, it could be direction-based, it could be bylaw-based.
are you going to have a facilitator?
We could do that if you wish.
I thought, are you talking strategic planning or the normal budget planning?
What we're talking is drilling down into each department and taking a look where council sees our programming going, our facilities going, and of course that will then drive budget discussions.
Okay, yes.
I certainly see value in doing this in September for budgetary reasons, but for strategic planning, I think that should wait till the new council.
Well, that's what I was trying to get out of it.
This would allow us to get some of that legwork done, and then once the new council comes in, yeah, we can hold another session at that time. But there's going to be, depending on the turnover, and we know there will be some. Sorry, I'm not suggesting you're going to lose the election, but we do have vacancies. It's that I think that would give that's an opportunity to do a good thorough orientation as well at that point in time.
Okay. Council, what date works for you?
September 17, 18?
It's too far ahead for me.
Can I have 3 or 4 reminders?
We'll get it in your calendar right away.
And
Fire season will be over, Terry.
No, could I make a suggestion? Could you send out to us some options? And then
Sure.
we can,
Yep.
so I can look at my calendar and stuff.
Are you preferring the two dates back to back or separate, or I'll just send out some dates and you select two that were.
Get her done.
The Friday, Saturday.
Yep, all right, thank you.
Do you want a resolution?
No, you can set those dates at August 3rd meeting.
Okay. So accept that, or table that to August 3rd. Can someone do that? Councillor Morgan? All in favor? Carried. The next one is Northwestern Air Lease is looking for a letter of support.
I believe they want to increase the size of their aircraft.
Pardon me?
They want to increase the size of their aircraft.
Yeah, size of their aircraft as well as the size, cargo. Discussion?
Why do they need our support if they want to buy a new aircraft?
Because I think they need our support stating that the airport, like the airport is a feasible operation. And I don't know, he just sent it to me and said he wanted our support, so I said I would bring it to council.
This is there, yeah, to gain Transport Canada approval, they
Yeah.
need support from organizations. Apply with us.
Does somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to write a letter of support.
Thank you. Councillor Welke, all in favor? Carried. Correspondence for information, can someone move that for information?
I'll make that.
Councillor Jessamine, all in favor? Carried. Thank you for joining us this evening. That ends our public portion of the meeting, and could I have a motion to move in camera, please?
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Jessamine, all in favor? Carried.